Welcome to Listrak's Innovation Unleashed. I'm Deanna Blue, Chief Product Officer here at Listrak, and today we have Cheryl Sanders, VP of Mobile Strategy.
Yeah, excited to be here today.
I'm excited to have you here. We have some exciting things to talk about.
We do. Very exciting things to talk about.
I think we're going to be talking about one of your favorite topics,
Yes.
all things mobile, and now RCS.
Yes, all things RCS today. Very exciting.
So I know that this has been a big moment for marketers everywhere, especially in the United States. We've been limited with SMS and MMS for so many years, limited to character counts, limited to text and what we can really do and what they can showcase with their brands. And now we have RCS, and RCS can now showcase many different interactions, and we're going to learn all about that.
Yeah, it's going to open up a lot of new things. So SMS and MMS have been great workhorses, but this is just going to explode what we can do there.
And I know we've been at Listrak, we were one of the first platforms to launch an RCS campaign in the United States last year for a luxury retail brand. Is that correct?
That is correct. We were the first platform provider in the U.S. to do it.
And we've been experimenting and learning along the way, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yep, lots of great learnings, and dive in.
All right, so tell us more about RCS and what it's doing to get attention right now.
Okay, so RCS has actually been around for over a decade now, probably even longer than that, but it's just starting to take off because Apple has introduced it on their operating system about a year and a half ago. And with that, it's modernizing what we can do in the text messaging space. So it's bringing in branding elements, interactive features, and lots of fun stuff for brands to really dive into and explore.
Yeah. Tell me about the brand, that verified identity. How does that work? I've heard about that.
Yeah, so with RCS, you get branded verified identification through a sender agent that goes through a full vetting process. So when messages arrive in the inbox, it arrives with your brand name attached to it, already vetted and giving your subscribers peace of mind in terms of like they know it's from you and it's a legitimate source.
So branding every step of the way. And then we were mentioning the interactive content that you can now put in RCS and to really get the engagement from your customers. Tell us more about what type of content is available.
So there's great features like clickable buttons that you can link to URLs, do a click to call, event, location finding. So really giving consumers very easy access to more information from your brand or linking to your own website. There's carousels, so you can have more real estate in terms of including imagery from your products and the brand itself. So all kinds of stuff to work with in RCS.
And we also were thinking about two-way conversations with RCS as a possibility. Yes. What would be some use cases for that?
Oh, conversational commerce is the one that comes to mind for me. So being able to take a consumer from questions about a product all the way through purchase with never having to leave the messaging app itself. So talk about frictionless purchase right there.
Yes, going straight from your mobile messaging to buy experience.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
And what are some other reasons brands should be caring about RCS right now?
Well, RCS is just starting to take off here in the U.S. With Apple's adoption of it, it really opens up the reach for it, where we were more limited on that before. And it's a really good opportunity while it's still like at this flexion point in terms of taking off for brands to learn more about what they can do in RCS and how well it can impact their marketing programs. So now is a really good time to dive in and do that. Plus, you get all those additional features that they should be considering how they would be leveraging those in their marketing campaigns. And the branding, all right there in the message. So that's a really good reason to jump in and want to see how that impacts. We've seen with just the branding elements in messaging going head-to-head with an SMS text message that you can get 58% higher click-through rates and 200% higher revenue percent just with those small little tweaks in a message.
I mean, that's a retailer's brand doing the work for them.
Yeah, and then giving that the consumer the peace of mind that they know it's coming from you. Yes. and they're not getting spoofed or spammed. You add that clickable URL in there with the link instead of like weird looking URL and consumers get more peace of mind and are ready to engage.
And how about the results that you've seen from having imagery in your messages?
Yeah, even head to head with a single image and the clickable URL button, and the branding element within it compared to an MMS message coming on a short code, we saw a 57% increase in revenue per send with that as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just simple things that you can do to increase over 50% increases.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Very small, just little baby steps with it. And we already see like huge gains.
Great. And with these experiments, what type of messages have you been seeing performing the best with RCS?
Right now, I would say it's the simpler message. So even though we can do carousels, there are some challenges in terms of consumer adoption and understanding how to interact with carousels. So we don't see as much click-through once you get past the initial rich card. So we do see rich cards with imagery, or just the simple text messaging having really big impact.
And what type of campaigns would you recommend using RCS when it comes to broadcasts or triggers?
All of it, really. But broadcast messages perform really well. So anything where you're trying to feature product categories or seasonal promotions, those have performed really well. Triggered messaging is always a really strong performer. So when you're adding these elements to it, it can amplify that as well.
Yeah. And when you think about product launches and recommendations and carousels, what are you thinking there and how this all can come together?
Oh, so one of the features we hadn't actually talked about is the ability to send back messages to get more insight from a consumer just by clicking a button. So in the past, when we've done information gathering from consumers, we've had them type out whole keywords to come back. We're able to gather that information and serve up more personalized content. With this, it's through a click of a button, so you can get more insight in terms of what consumers are interested in, what they want to hear more about from you, and then you can serve up carousels with product recommendations geared specifically to their interest.
So what I'm hearing is that you're more likely to collect more first-party data to really personalize these messages and then leverage product recommendations to increase that conversion.
Yep. And that information can get stored on the profile field so that it's something that you can leverage from a segmentation standpoint going forward.
And how do you think about RCS replacing SMS and MMS?
We're not there yet. It's still in its infancy. There's still some things that like brands need to figure out in terms of where it works best within each of their campaigns. So maybe future state it becomes a replacement, but right now we look at it more as an additional component within the marketing mix. SMS and MMS still work really well, so this just augments what we can do in that space.
And then if brands wanted to get started, what should they be thinking about doing first?
Well, first thing you got to start with is registering for that sender agent. So getting that verified and vetted through the parties that give you that peace of mind security is step number one. But then really be starting to think through where in their marketing mix it could apply. So starting to think through some of the test cases, the use cases that they can add into test, and really figure out where it's going to add the most bang for the buck initially.
And when they're setting up their RCS campaigns, I know not every device has RCS enabled. Tell us more about what you need to make sure is available so your messages go out and all of the nuances of RCS messaging.
Yeah, so within the Listrak platform, if a device that is scheduled to receive an RCS message isn't able to receive that message, there is a fallback option. So it will default back to either SMS or MMS, and it will enable the send to go through. It's really a nice fail-safe. You're not going to miss an opportunity to connect with your subscribers.
Then what do you think about the future of mobile messaging now that RCS is available?
I think it's wide open now. There are so many use cases that we're considering. We talked a little bit about that conversational commerce. I think that's going to be one of the biggest ads that RCS will enable. But also just to be able to do more engagement. You have more real estate to work with. So it's going to be really an amazing opportunity to surface more product recommendations in a single message and find that exact thing that's going to spark joy for the subscriber and get them to buy. And then just the interactions, the first party data that we talked about is going to be huge to be able to do additional data collection. And then there's some metrics that come with RCS that's really going to help us learn more about the subscriber. Like we get location information, we'll get open rates, which is something that we haven't really seen before in SMS. So I think it's going to open up a lot from an analytics standpoint too.
Yeah. Does it also track read as well?
Yes. Yep.
Whole new set of metrics for
Yeah.
marketers to start paying attention to and understanding how they can increase those. A little bit of a bonus question here is for our marketers.
Yeah.
What mistakes or gotchas should marketers think about as they're starting to put together their first RCS campaigns?
Yeah. So I would say start simple, because you have all these features and functions, and the instinct might be to like go in and try and maximize all those things. We are still in a state of teaching subscribers how to engage with these. So you can start small and see what impact it has on your ROI goals, but then like add additional things as you go, figure out where the right points of leveraging it in your marketing mix are. And I would say really look at what the user experience is going to render in market, because we do have different operating systems, different phones that we're working with. So how it looks on an Android device is going to be a little bit different than how it looks on Apple. So just make sure that you test it on your own device or a couple of devices before you go and send it out en masse.
Yes, I think the design piece is really important to keep in mind, because the carousels don't even look like carousels on Apples. They're like stacked images in that case. And then whether or not you see the whole image or not see the whole image. So make sure you're looking at that and testing out that user experience as you're sending these messages. It's a really good tip.
And then think through like how you can teach your subscriber to go through the whole thing. So adding a graphic that tells them to swipe through is good, or if you need extended page on an Apple device, like teaching the subscriber that they can extend out the page to get more information. So it's just going to be a little bit of like, how do you teach the subscriber to really engage and better understand how to leverage the message as well.
Yeah. And I expect that we're going to be sharing all of those tips and tricks along the way with everybody here at Listrak. Well, Cheryl, this has been a great conversation, and I'm really excited to see where RCS takes us, where we learn along the way, and where our customers decide to make use of all of this innovation with RCS.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them live in market. It's going to be fun.
Well, thank you, everyone, for listening today to Listrak's Innovation Unleashed podcast. And if you'd like to learn more about RCS, feel free to visit listrak.com or reach out to your CSM. And I can't wait to do this again. And hopefully, Cheryl, you and I will be sitting here again very soon with more innovation.